Episode 3, Mindset Metamorphosis, The Blame Game, Breaking Free from Excuses by Banwo. Opsy Bee's journey continued, fueled by the small but significant victory of his first sale. However, the road ahead was not without its bumps. Despite his newfound determination, Opsy soon found himself wrestling with a familiar and insidious enemy, the tendency to blame others for his setbacks. It was a crisp autumn morning when Opsy found himself sitting at his favorite coffee shop, staring at his laptop screen with a furrowed brow. He had launched a new campaign the previous week, but the results were underwhelming. He picked up his phone and called Jay. "Jay, I don't get it. I did everything right. I followed every step, but the campaign bombed. Maybe it's just bad luck, or maybe those so-called marketing experts don't know what they're talking about," Opsy grumbled, taking a sip of his coffee. Jay's voice was calm on the other end. "Opsy, you can't always blame others or external factors. Sometimes you have to look in the mirror. What could you have done better?" Opsy sighed and leaned back in his chair. "I don't know, Jay. Maybe I just don't have what it takes." "Stop that right now," Jay said firmly. "You have what it takes, but you need to take responsibility for your actions. Learn from your mistakes instead of pointing fingers." Opsy knew Jay was right, but accepting that truth was hard. As he pondered Jay's words, an email notification popped up on his screen. It was from Mr. Parker, inviting him to a private coaching session. That evening, Opsy joined the virtual session with Mr. Parker. The mentor's calm, authoritative voice filled the room. "Good evening, everyone. Tonight, I want to talk about taking responsibility for your success. Opsy, I heard you've had some challenges lately. Want to share with the group?" Opsy hesitated, but then nodded. "Yes, Mr. Parker. I launched a new campaign, but it didn't go well. I've been blaming everything from bad luck to poor advice." Mr. Parker smiled gently. "It's natural to feel that way, Opsy, but let me tell you a story. When I started, I failed multiple times. I lost money, made poor decisions, and felt like giving up. But the moment I stopped blaming others and took full responsibility for my actions, everything changed. I started learning from my mistakes, adapting and growing." Opsy listened intently, feeling a spark of hope. "So what should I do differently, Mr. Parker?" "First, analyze what went wrong in your campaign. Break it down and find the weak spots. Then take action to improve. Remember, taking responsibility isn't about self-blame, it's about empowerment." The next day, Opsy sat down with a notepad and meticulously reviewed his campaign. He realized that his targeting was too broad, his ad copy was generic, and he hadn't engaged with his audience enough. Armed with this knowledge, he revamped his strategy. As he worked, Opsy couldn't help but remember another piece of advice from Mr. Parker. Success is a series of small wins. Don't expect giant leaps overnight. Focus on steady progress. Opsy launched his revised campaign with a mix of nerves and excitement. This time he was more involved with his audience, answering their questions and tailoring his content to their needs. He also set realistic goals, understanding that each step forward was a victory in itself. One evening, while responding to comments on his latest post, Opsy received a message from a new follower. "Hey Opsy, I've been following your journey. Your recent tips on market research were spot on. I've already seen an improvement in my own business. Thanks." Opsy felt a surge of pride and satisfaction. He called Jay immediately. "Jay, you won't believe this. People are actually benefiting from my content. I've been getting positive feedback." Jay laughed. "That's awesome, Opsy. See what happens when you take charge? Keep it up, and remember, the journey is just as important as the destination." As weeks turned into months, Opsy's business began challenges, but his approach had changed. Instead of blaming external factors, he analyzed each situation, learned from it, and adapted. He was building not just a business, but a mindset of... One day, while preparing for another coaching session with Mr. Parker, Opsy reflected on how far he had come. He realized that taking responsibility was not a burden, but a power that allowed him to shape his own destiny. He was no longer at the mercy of circumstances, he was the master of his fate. Opsy Bee's journey was far from over, but he had taken a crucial step. He understood now that success was a continuous process of learning, adapting, and growing. With every mistake, he gained more knowledge and strength. As he logged into the coaching session, Mr. Parker greeted him with a knowing smile. "Welcome back, Opsy. Ready for the next challenge?" Opsy grinned. "Always, Mr. Parker. Bring it on." Opsy Bee, the aggressive and highly motivated hustler, was well on his way to becoming not just a guru, but a true master of his own journey. The lessons he learned about responsibility and resilience would serve him well in the adventures to come.